So I'm Joe Migliorini. We're from Granville, Illinois. We have an orchard and produce business, and we also grain farm.
My name's Christine Migliorini. I'm married to Joe here, and from Granville. And we do an orchard and produce operation called Boggio's, and also grain farm.
So when we think about leadership, I think about like our the values that we grew up with, that I grew up with, and also like instilling those values in future generations. So we have a lot of young people that work with us here or that help us on the farm, and it's just trying to instill those values in the ones that we're inspiring.
So I grew up on a farm as well. My dad was a hog and grain farmer, and just looking up to him and his determination and kind of grit, to keep moving forward. Farming is kind of a 24/7 gig. So as far as leadership goes, the biggest things I feel like are the values connected to agriculture and farming and what goes into it.
Illinois is very unique in agriculture. I feel like it's very diverse. Yes, of course, we have primarily corn and soybean, a little bit of wheat in Illinois, but we also have a lot of fruit and vegetable farms, pumpkin capital of the world kind of Illinois. So there's also, all sorts of offerings that you have, and we tap into a lot of that here with the produce business and our orchard side with the apples. So I think Illinois is unique in that. A lot of people don't realize how diverse Illinois really is when it comes to ag.
So as far as like our plans moving forward, kind of our big opportunity for growth is our orchard and produce operation. Will be our third season taking over. So we kind of still have some ideas as far as where we'd like to take that. But I think also part of it is listening to the community and what their needs are. And that kind of goes along with the grain farming aspect as well. One of our big goals with our orchard and produce operation is kind of that education aspect. So we meet a lot of kids and even adults, even in our community, that, aren't super sure or don't even know, they haven't been exposed to how it grows, that a potato is dug out of the ground. Even as simple as that, that's kind of one of our big goals, help feeding that younger generation, getting them interested in, things that they haven't been exposed to, and just kind of educating our community.
I would have been influenced by my mom and dad. I didn't grow up on a farm, but my mom was, she grew up on the produce farm. She was in the fields, has been pretty much her whole life. She ran a restaurant, and my dad was in the aviation industry. So we were slightly removed from ag, but I was always involved with my grandpa and my uncle, helping them on the farm. So that was kind of my connection back to it. But moving forward, I just think like we have two boys. We just want to keep them involved in the farm, just raise them in that environment, this environment here at the orchard. And I think that's how we pay it forward, is just taking the values that ag has brought to us, our faith even, and just making sure that our kids are able to move forward with that in whatever they decide to do with the future.
I would describe my story in agriculture as building on traditions and values that were instilled on me as a young girl, into my family and into the next generation, for years to come.
Ag is incredibly unpredictable. So we were talking earlier, like uh, it's a very unpredictable industry, and it almost forces you to deepen your faith. And it kind of has for us too. Like the more we've gotten involved with ag and been more dependent on an ag salary rather than a corporate salary that we kind of had before, you're forced to deepen your faith because your life depends so much on weather and the heat, or if we have a cold spell or a rough winter or something. So I think you're just constantly reminded that we're not in charge, and it's very humbling. And so I think that's definitely deepened our faith. and that's a positive thing because life is unpredictable, and it just helps you uh, prepare yourself for struggles in your own life down the road.